Pokerogue is the new browser Pokemon fan game sweeping the internet, where you battle, just battle, through waves of wild Pokemon and trainers aiming to defeat the boss at level 200. If you win, you win. But if you lose, well, just try again, because it is, after all, a roguelike. This is the story of how I got my first Pokerogue win, along with all the devastating losses that came before it. You begin by picking starters for your run, and initially your only options are the 27 actual starters. You're allotted 10 points total, and each starter costs 3. Other starter options, Pokemon you obtain later through runs, can be worth more or less than 3 points, but this will be more important later. As for which starters I picked, well, I'll admit I did not go into this totally blind. I watched PM7 stream his first successful attempt, and I also watched Alpharad's video. So from them, I know 2 Pokemon I definitely want to start with: Bulbasaur and Fuecoco. Venusaur's Leech Seed and Sleep Powder were instrumental to PM7's success, and Torch Song was huge for Alpharad. Part of the reason for that is that stat changes persist between battles, except once you leave a world every 10 floors, or you begin a trainer battle. So boosting moves, you boost yourself once and then you've got it for several battles, those are really, really good. For the third starter, I picked Mudkip. Swampert is simply good. My first run began, starting with waves of weak wild Pokemon. After each battle, you can select a free item and spend money on healing items if you want. Floor 8 was the first battle with Ivy, my rival, and the most threatening trainer in the game. She thankfully wasn't too bad this first battle though, and I made it through. But then I hit floor 10, a boss Lillipup. Boss Pokemon have multiple health bars, have passive extra abilities, and get boosts when you take them down to a lower health bar. Fuecoco got the Lillipup down to its first health bar, but then it got an attack boost. I blundered by switching multiple times, and since it was at +1 attack and outsped my entire team, the Lillipup swept me. I gotta be real, I thought my first run would go significantly better than losing to a level 8 boss Lillipup. Look, I never expected to win on my first attempt, but losing that early, that bruised my ego a bit. That'll teach me to compare myself to Smalland. I did learn from this though. I failed to catch any Pokemon outside of my starters, which was a mistake. Even if the Pokemon I catch aren't that good, just having more bodies there can be helpful. I started run 2 with the same group of 3 starters. Almost immediately, I caught a Meowth and amazingly got Ice Beam for Mudkip as a reward. I beat Ivy without issue, then reached floor 10 again, this time a boss Eevee. Meowth was a huge help. Thanks to the Eevee having Simple, each growl dropped its attack 2 stages instead of 1. With a burn from Fuecoco, it simply had no damage output. My furthest run yet. Only 190 floors to go. Several floors went generally uneventfully. I filled out my team and finally got Bulbasaur Leech Seed, but then I reached floor 20. Holy crap! Oh no! Oh no! Thankfully, this ended up not being as scary as it initially seemed. I moved on to World 3, but then on floor 25, Ivy returned, which I was not expecting. It's okay to lose sometimes. I understand that. I'd rather not do it now though. I've yet to even evolve a single Pokemon. She already has Marshtomp? I was badly underleveled and unevolved for this fight, and while I got unlucky with a Sleep Powder miss, I still could have played better. Trainers in regular Pokemon almost never withdraw their Pokemon, but in Pokerogue, and Ivy especially, they do it extensively. And I had yet to mentally adjust to that. So I foolishly switched in Bulbasaur against Marshtomp and lost it, while Marshtomp was almost totally healthy. No! Ugh! I knew I'd lost, but the battle was drawn out for way too long with the most annoying sequence of Supersonics and Protects I had ever encountered. After my second loss, only at floor 25, I was feeling very demoralized. Didn't Alpharad get all the way to level 195 on his first try? What's wrong with me? I started another run immediately, tilted way too far, and I lost to Ivy on floor 8, my worst run so far. 3 runs that finished on floors 10, 25, and 8. A victory is on floor 200. I wasn't even getting far enough to get egg vouchers so that I could get more starter Pokemon options to potentially get farther. In the moment, I hated the game for its cruelty, but I also hated myself. These other Pokemon people, PM7, Alpharad, Smalland, they were doing so much better than me. Why was I doing worse? Why was I failing? Probably because the playthroughs you do don't require any actual skill. Ah! Oh, oops, forgot to do my normal thing. 1 second. Haha! It is I, Grunty Boy, and I'll elaborate more on my thoughts in a second, but first, the sponsor of this video is Dragon City. If you download the game using my link or QR code, you'll instantly get this MandJTV related emblem to display in your city.
Wait, since when?
Since I set it up with them, I'm not just a pretty face. Although to be clear, I definitely am a pretty face, it's just I do other things too. Dragon City is a game where you can collect, hatch, and evolve over 1,000 unique dragons, then use those dragons to fight through story missions or exciting PvP battles. Unleash unique skills and strategies to defeat challenging opponents.
I want to circle back to the emblem. That is so exciting.
All right, relax. It's not like it's Team Rocket. You can use the emblem as part of your dream city, constructing and designing magical habitats, buildings, and decorations. So you get both exciting combat and relaxing city builder mechanics all in one game. You can also join alliances with other players to unlock exclusive rewards. Download Dragon City by clicking the link in the description below or by scanning the QR code on screen to get our emblem instantly. Plus 15,000 food, 30,000 gold, and the very rare Neo Izumi dragon to start your journey.
All right, now that you finished that, what did you mean earlier? That I don't do playthroughs that require skill?
You do playthroughs with very straightforward, simple gimmicks. Team Sky, Fairy Gym Leader, no new moves. Sure, they're technically harder than a normal playthrough, but not by much. You're playing vanilla games most of the time. These other creators you're talking about have very famously done super difficult challenges, while you won't even do a Nuzlocke.
Well, I just get so sad when my Pokemon die.
And that's fine. It is fine that you're not a top tier battler. Your strength is not in your battling abilities, it's in your creativity. Like, look at me. People love me, and I'm just the brand deal guy. Play to your strengths, learn from your failures, and quit comparing yourself to others so much.
Wow. You're right. Thanks, Grunty Boy. I had no idea you were so wise.
Sure you did. You wrote me this way. I mean, I'm a perfectly independent person, not a character. I love crime. Ta-ta!
Grunty Boy was right. I would never succeed if I just beat myself up for failing too early. I would succeed if I learned. So what did I learn? Well, I needed to focus more on just one, maybe two Pokemon at the very beginning of the game to give them most of the experience. Because if I got to that floor 25 battle with Ivy and did not have at least one evolved starter, I was screwed. So I launched into Run 4, prioritizing Fuecoco's experience. Floor 8 Ivy went fine, and then at floor 16, I found something ridiculous. What?
Never seen someone get that before. Must be a good omen. Then on floor 20, Silent appeared. This was the first gym leader I had seen, since one did not occur on floor 20 of Run 2. Fuecoco defeated him easily, but it also earned me my first egg voucher. Using egg vouchers in the egg gacha is super important. It's easy to miss, but it allows you to get random eggs which hatch after a certain number of battles. The Pokemon don't help you on your current run, but it unlocks them as starters with fancy egg moves, ones they may not learn in normal Pokemon. You also have the chance to unlock legendary Pokemon as starters, which is huge, but also if you use the Shiny Up machine, they have a significantly increased chance of being shiny. And shiny Pokemon in Pokerogue matter for more than aesthetics. The more shiny Pokemon you have in your party, the more your luck score increases, which makes it so you have a better chance of getting better items at the end of a battle. I opted for the Shiny Chance Up machine, put in my voucher, and oh my god, my first one's an epic one! Oh my god! I know the Manaphy eggs can like also become Fione, but that's an insane first two pulls. If this run didn't work out, at least I had an epic level egg that I could use as a starter for a future run. Not long later, I finally evolved something, but then I had to fight two Furfrou in a row that badly beat me up. I had 4 fainted Pokemon, but I decided to save my money and only revived the starters that fainted. And then, right after, Ivy again. Oh crap. My only non-starter went down early, so I had to lean on my starters. By using a strategy I copied from PM7, when her Croconaw would be scared out, I would sleep powder whatever came in. Bulbasaur didn't miss any sleep powders or leech seeds, and it even evolved mid-battle, and I now had my best run yet. The boss for World 3 was a Varoom, and since steel types seemed valuable, I decided to try to catch it. I did catch it! Cool! Varoom promptly went on to be helpful against the World 4 boss Grimer, since Varoom
boom, totally walled it. I also caught a Magneton to replace Boltund. Then on floor 49, Ivysaur evolved into Venusaur, my first fully evolved starter and a huge power boost. Floor 50 was Chuck, the next gym leader, which thanks to Venusaur and Crocolore was not difficult. Right afterward, I caught a Beware. Then on floor 54, Crocolore finally evolved into Skeledirge. Yes, yeah, torch song. That was dumb. And then I immediately had to fight Ivy again. But thanks to the power of Magneton and Skeledirge, plus some support from Venusaur, I beat her without any Pokemon fainting. The next several floors had two moments that really scared me. The first being the boss Lucario, and the next being this. I don't know if the mic got it, but that thunder was loud as hell. Then on floor 63, oh my God, I now had the Master Ball and the Shiny Charm. If a wild Shiny showed up, I could just catch it with the Master Ball. This was shaping up amazingly, and my team was getting stronger too. Okay, I think I skipped a Thunderstone before not realizing I needed to use it on Magneton. Okay, there we go. I was like, I just have to get to a magnetic field. Floor 70 brought a boss Golden Go, which I did not fight well. It took out Skeledirge and Magnezone immediately, and then I forgot Golden Go's whole thing. That's good as gold. I can't believe that. Oh my God. Are you serious? This thing is broken beyond belief. Thankfully, it started using Make It Rain instead of Shadow Ball, dropping its own offense to useless levels, allowing Swampert to wear it down. It did occur to me later, not at the time, that if it had gotten bad enough to where I would have lost the battle, I could have just caught it with the Master Ball. But I didn't think of that until now, and it didn't end up mattering. And then right after winning, I was rewarded with my epic egg finally hatching. Oh, finally! Oh, what is it? Okay! Huh. It'll be interesting using this thing, because I've literally never done so. I've caught one and then moved on with my life. I was super pumped about Enamorus. If this run failed, I could start my next one with a legendary Pokemon. A weird looking one, but still a legendary. And also it was a fairy type, which is one of the best types in the game. The Manaphy egg was sadly Fione. I believe there's a 9 in 10 chance of that happening. And then on floor 78, I caught Alakazam to give my team some more speed. Skeledirge beat floor 80 Tulip basically by itself. Floor 85 gave me the Mega Bracelet, allowing the possibility for me to Mega Evolve my Venusaur, Swampert, or Alakazam if one of their Mega Stones popped up. That would be hugely helpful because in Pokerogue, Mega Evolutions are permanent, and I believe you can have more than one in your party at a time. At floor 90, I destroyed my favorite Pokemon, taking down its 2 health bars in just 1 hit. Oh, I didn't even realize that was possible! I thought it always stopped at the health bar! That was crazy! Then at floor 95, it was time for Ivy once again. However, this environment had permanent sun, which served not only to nerf her terastallized Feraligatr, but it also boosted Skeledirge's firepower. I won easily, with all of my Pokemon still at green health when it ended. And then after this point, I pretty much just started steamrolling everything. Not only was Torch Song Skeledirge very good, but with how the experience items worked out, I started being higher level than everything rather than lower. There's really little I need to cover, with the exception of 2 significant events. I caught a Staraptor and swapped it in for Beware, and I got an exciting egg from the gacha. Whoa. Oh, legendary! I've never seen that egg color before. I thought it went straight from the blue ones to the black ones. No idea what that's gonna turn into. If my reaction seems a bit confusing to those of you who have played the game, you'll see later. But aside from the Staraptor and the legendary egg, nothing exciting. I did not find any shiny Pokemon, and I did not find any Mega Stones for my 3 Mega Evolving Pokemon, which was frustrating and dumb, but hey, at least the battles were easy. I breezed my way through all the way to floor 145, the next Ivy battle. Okay, all right, there you are. A 3 HP bar Boss Rayquaza that's an alternate rarer shiny. This thing is tough. I'm not gonna cover every detail of this battle because it took almost 10 minutes, even with permanent sun boosting Skeledirge's power, but I'll tell you how I beat the Rayquaza. Skeledirge took out 2 of Rayquaza's HP bars, and at the end, Alakazam finished it off. It was an intense, long battle, but I made it through. Then, not long later, oh,
That's a shiny, let's go! Finally! If I had to do more runs later, at least I'd be able to boost my luck a little bit. The next several floors went perfectly smoothly until floor 170, where at the end of a world with permanent rain, Marlin showed up. This sucks. This battle was brutally challenging, dealing with rain-boosted water moves when I only had one Pokemon that resisted them. At the very end of the lengthy back-and-forth battle, it was only my Alakazam versus his Ludicolo. If I either KO'd from this range or outsped, I won, and neither happened. Ludicolo outsped Alakazam, which at the time completely confused me, but I later realized it was because it had Swift Swim. And with 2 attacks, Marlin ended my 4th run at floor 170. His final Pokemon at red HP. It could not have been closer. I lost without ever finding a wild shiny charm shiny, without ever getting to use my Master Ball, and without ever even finding a Mega Stone for one of my 3 Mega Evolving Pokemon. I believe if I had a Mega Evolution, the Marlin battle would have ended differently. But even with how poorly it ended, this loss was easier to stomach than the first 3. I made it very far, got a bunch of eggs, and my next run, I got to start with Enamorus. Several days later, I began run 5, but I had a dilemma. Enamorus cost 7 points, meaning I only had 3 left to spend on another Pokemon. I had to choose between Bulbasaur, Fuecoco, and my new shiny Flabebe. Bulbasaur gave Leech Seed, Fuecoco Torch Song, and shiny Flabebe Luck. I ended up deciding on Fuecoco since I could get Leech Seed elsewhere, and starting with 2 fairy types felt pretty risky. I felt great. I was starting with a legendary and arguably the best regular starter. This run was going to be absolutely amazing. I lost to Ivy on floor 25. I attribute this loss to both bad preparation and bad luck. Bad preparation is on me. Since it had been a few days, I forgot to prep for this battle and thus failed to evolve Fuecoco before the fight. But even if I had prepared better and evolved my Fuecoco, Ivy's team still just violently countered mine. My only useful Pokemon were Enamorus and Fuecoco. She had Charmeleon, Fletchinder, and Cloth. Fuecoco could not touch any of them, and Charmeleon had Metal Claw, which is one of the very few super effective moves any starter can have for Enamorus this early in the game. I was more annoyed than anything, to be honest, but I knew this pair could win. I knew this pair could get really far if Ivy had a team that was just even slightly easier to beat. So I hopped right back in to run 6. I got back to floor 25 quickly, and her starter this run is Bulbasaur, which is much easier to handle. With Pikachu spreading Paralysis, pleasantly early Heat Wave on Crocolore, and Sludge Bomb on Enamorus, I defeated her. As the run progressed, I caught Magikarp, since if you've seen any Team Sky videos, you know I'm a big fan of Dragon Dance Gyarados. I also caught a Drillbur, since Excadrill is fantastic, and I saw PM7 win with one. Then on floor 37, I got the Reveal Glass. Is that useful? Wait, I have Enamorus. I was like, I don't have Thundurus, Tornadus, or Landorus. Why am I getting that as a thing? Do I want to change forms? I ended up deciding not to. Incarnate Form's speed is just so valuable. On floor 47, I caught Magneton again, since I thought Magnezone was very useful before. Then on floor 48, my legendary egg finally hatched. Oh, it's finally hatching? What? I thought the legends could only come from the black eggs. Let's go! As you might have gathered from my reaction to getting the egg in the first place, I mistakenly believed that this pink egg was the second rarest. I mixed up legendary and epic, and I also didn't realize that the sub-legendaries, so the ones that have base stat totals a little under 600, would hatch from different eggs than the box art level legendaries. So the pink eggs, the legendary ones, those hatch like Groudon, Kyogre, Mewtwo, and Zekrom level legendaries. So this is pretty exciting because even if this run didn't go well, I could start the next one with frickin' Zekrom. At floor 55, I met Ivy again, but I outleveled most of her Pokemon because I stacked up 5 experience items prior to this point. Thanks to a strong team of Enamorus, Skeledirge, Gyarados, Excadrill, Magneton, and Persian, I beat her easily. About 20 floors later, I caught a prankster Whimsicott, replacing Persian, to use as a support Pokemon with priority Cotton Spore, Leech Seed, and later Toxic. My team never changed again. And then things were frankly really easy for a while. I'm getting the impression that if you get past the early game, it's gonna be pretty easy for a while until it ramps up a lot at the very end. My experience items were so stacked up that my Pokemon were hitting the level caps only about halfway through a world. Torch Song Skeledirge, Dragon Dance Gyarados, and Swords Dance Excadrill did most of the work, while Enamorus or Magnezone would fight in battles that suited them, and Whimsicott hopped in for tricky trainer battles. The IV battles were long due to all the switches, and the one at floor 145 was a bit tight, with Rayquaza and Metagross being frustrating problems, but I got the win. Also, for most of this time, I had the Mega Bracelet, and still no freaking Mega Stone for Gyarados. And then before I knew it, I was back at floor 170. If I won here, it was my longest run yet. But could I? I was absolutely terrified and really nervous. Marlin was incredibly difficult and I barely lost. Would this gym leader be just as strong? Even stronger? Who was it gonna be? Who was I going to fight? Who would I have to overcome on the terrifying floor 170? It's a cast form. What? I thought it was gonna be a gym leader. I don't believe there's a better illustration of the role that luck plays in this game. On one run, it's Permanent Rain Water Gym Leader, and on the other, it's Cast Form, who I love, but is very weak. The gym leader came 10 floors later, and it was Piers, and Enamorus swept through him easily. But now that I was in the 180s, this began the Pokemon League Gauntlet. Every other floor you fight an Elite Four member until it eventually culminates in a battle versus a champion at floor 190. 5 6v6 battles basically in a row with no guaranteed healing in between. So it was a really good thing I saved my money. I got the Alola League. All these trainers come from the same Pokemon League group. So Malayne was first up. Excadrill and Gyarados handled it pretty much by themselves. Then came Olivia. Excadrill took big damage from Stonejourner early after Swords Dancing, but then it swept her team until Lycanroc lived due to a Reviver Seed, a Pokerogue exclusive, very broken item that heals the Pokemon back up to half health if it faints. Could you imagine if this was in real Pokemon? That's ridiculous. Thankfully, Gyarados just finished her off. Acerola was next. After Enamorus KO'd Palisand, Gyarados Dragon Dance swept her. Finally for the Elite Four was Kahili. Magnezone swept through 5 of her Pokemon without even boosting itself, and then Gyarados cleaned up. Finally was Champion Hau, and this was a dramatic spike in difficulty from the Elite Four. I took out his Tauros early, but then a crit Draco Meteor from Terastallized Noivern took down Skeledirge. His Alolan Raichu proved a huge problem since it used Zippy Zap. I need to rant about this move for a second, just so you get the full picture of what was happening here. Zippy Zap is a move that the Let's Go partner Pikachu can learn. 50 power, +2 priority, always a crit. Very, very good move, but it's intended for a Pokemon that's base stat total is only like a little over 400. So it makes sense that it's kind of busted. But what's really weird about it is that it's still in the code for the later games. Sword and Shield, Scarlet Violet, etc. Even though you cannot bring the partner Pikachu to those games and no Pokemon can use it or select it. But they coded it in, but then also changed what it does. So instead of it being a guaranteed critical hit, they boosted its power from 50 to 80, but then also made it so using it boosts the user's evasion by 1 stage. An attack that boosts evasion. That is so broken, and that's the version of the move they put in Pokerogue. This disgustingly broken move caused me to miss several crucial attacks that would have KO'd this stupid Raichu. This cursed thing ended up KOing my Excadrill with Splishy Splash. I was down to only Whimsicott, Gyarados, and low health Magnezone with no reliable way to defeat the Raichu. And his Lunala, oh, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, he has a frickin' Lunala, was completely healthy until it met Whimsicott. Thanks to Leech Seed and Giga Drain, which didn't even do much damage, Whimsicott outlasted Lunala and ended up healthy at the end. It Cotton Spored and Leech Seeded Noivern before going down, allowing Gyarados to come in and Dragon Dance, which I had to do to outspeed Raichu. Gyarados lived the Draco Meteor, and then I clicked Crunch. How foolishly switched in Raichu, and Gyarados finished the Noivern off, and I won with 2 Pokemon left standing. I had made it to the final world, full of Paradox Pokemon that can't be caught, and the 2 final bosses. Many runs make it all the way to this point,
only to fall short. This was it. But real quick before that, oh, a legendary egg, which hopefully I can just win this run and we never get to see hatch. The wild paradox Pokemon were mostly pushovers and I didn't get a single interesting item. So I got to floor 195, the final battle with Ivy, which I knew included a boss Mega Rayquaza. Oh, I'm so nervous, I'm shaking all over. This battle lasted 10 minutes playing at 4 times speed. It would be impossible to concisely summarize it, so I'm just gonna play it with the dead air cut out. And immediately I have to switch because this thing's gonna sludge bomb me. Oh, okay. Got a Lumberry on. Let's go Skeledirge. What is with all the switching? I feel like she's gonna switch. Didn't switch, okay. Oh, failed then. Let's just switch to Gyarados, intimidate you. Flare Blitz is gonna do nothing. And I'm gonna Dragon Dance for whatever comes in. And it's you. Frickin' freak. You've got Citrus Berry, Lepa Berry, other crap. It's for Hurricane and misses. Go for Thunder Wave on, okay, but you're gonna Lepa Berry it away. Back to Gyarados, intimidate you. Flare Blitz does nothing again. And I'm gonna predict the Rayquaza switch. Yep, and what did I plan to do about it? I suppose I have to get rid of that Lumberry before I can Toxic it. Okay, well, I'm just double switching. All right, there goes Toucannon. We're gonna go for a water move, which Whimsicott tanks. Get Leech Seed on something. Okay. Okay, I killed the Metagross. What am I gonna do about you? Missing his Hurricanes, at least. How did my Thunder Wave miss, man? Okay, well, I hit a Waterfall. Back to Magnezone, the Hurricane hits this time. It doesn't do very much. Thank you for hitting the damn Thunder Wave. I hate that I have to keep frickin' switching in Gyarados here, but I can't risk letting Magnezone go down. Oh, full paralysis, that's huge, that's huge. I'm wearing it down somehow. Locked into Outrage. I go into Enamorus, and I hit something with Fleur Cannon. I hit it, I KO'd it, let's go! Leech Seed you, which will give some health back for Gyarados. All right, now there's this thing that I haven't seen in forever. Outrage Venusaur? It's risky, but Mystical Fire. Okay, special attacks lowered. How long are we gonna do this dance, Tauros? So I predict, I'm gonna predict the Venusaur switch. Let's go. That did so much damage. Special attack sharply rose. Damn. Oh wait, I'm an idiot. This thing's pure grass right now. I should just Sludge Bomb it. My Lodic is getting on my last nerves. Just doing the same chain forever. Ugh. Crunch. Big damage there. Not enough to KO, but I go back to Whimsicott again. Let's just Giga Drain. Is this gonna KO you? Finally. Oh my god. Unfortunately, Whimsicott can't do anything to Venusaur because it's a frickin'... Wait, I can Toxic it. Oh, it's got a Lumberry. I'm just gonna Cotton Spore it. Doesn't affect Venusaur. Cotton Spore doesn't work on grass types. Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb again. Oh, it got faster, but I lived. Sludge Bomb. Okay, I should be able to finish this now. Sludge Bomb. Finally. Oh my god. I didn't play perfectly, but I played well. I finished the battle with 4 Pokemon still standing. I was exhausted and nervous and my heart was pounding. I was so incredibly close. Just one major battle left, the 2-phase Eternatus. We are immediately leading with Prankster Leech Seed. I knew that would happen, and that is fine. I can't even see what items it has. Earthquake does 1 health bar, but it boosts his special attack. Big a Swords Dance. Oh, he has to recharge. Oh, I forgot Eterna Beam caused a recharge. Earthquake. Oh, phase 2 gets triggered once I get there. I didn't realize that. I don't like that it didn't heal Whimsicott. I thought my Pokemon might have been fully healed. That really actually blows a lot. I didn't realize that.
And now I don't think I can win this because Leech Seed was a big part of my plan. I watched PM7 and AlphaRad use Leech Seed to beat Eternatus. It takes 1/8 of its total health, not of 1 health bar, which is insanely good. But I screwed up. I don't know why, but I thought you got healed between the phases. There was no reason for me to think that. I can't explain it, but just like, that's what I thought. So I was okay with Whimsicott going down, and now I had to live with the consequences. I would have to fight the harder phase with no Leech Seed. I was screwed. But what else could I do but try anyways? By combining Earthquakes and Dragon Danced Ice Fangs, I whittled down Eternatus to its last health bar relatively quickly. But you'll notice that I don't look excited. That's because I knew I was not as close to victory as it may appear. Eternatus knows Recover, which heals half of its total HP, not 1 bar. Meaning you have to try and beat it down after it's boosted its stats crazy amounts. I felt doomed. I sent in Magnezone to try to Metal Sound drop its special defense so it'd be easier to beat back down after it recovered. I hit the Metal Sound, then clicked Flash Cannon, then to my absolute shock, he went for Dynamax Cannon. He didn't recover! I thought he was gonna recover! I did it! Yes! Oh my god! Let's go! I did it! On my 6th attempt with this team of spectacular Pokemon, I beat the classic mode of Pokerogue. I ended with 2 legendary starters, 1 shiny that I never used, and a deep sense of accomplishment. Also, I unlocked Endless Mode. That feels like way too much for me. Thank you so much for watching. There's a video on screen right now that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy, and you should absolutely click on it if you enjoy my stuff. You watched this whole video. You must like my videos, and there's more for you to watch. Also, real quick before I forget, thank you so much to Dragon City for sponsoring this video. If you install through my link, you'll get this MandJTV related emblem, 15K food, 30K gold, and the very rare Neo Azumi Dragon. Make sure to check out the game, link in the description below.